What is up? Coach Trammy and Coach Rob here in our garage gym with our doggy daughters, Koa in the background there, and then Kiwi, she's taking a nap right there. She's cheering us on. So today we're gonna go over a very important foundational movement that is going to tackle your what? What do squats do?
So
Why
squats
squat?
are super important because they build your legs, they build your glutes, everybody's favorite, and they're just an important functional movement for quality of life overall. Being able to do this is super important. Sitting down, standing up, any activities that we do makes the squat a super important movement, and also one to really understand how to perform correctly. And then different variations of how to perform if we're unable to do a complete bodyweight squat at this moment. So, cool.
And most people don't realize that squats also work your abs and your core. So a lot of times you guys are wanting to slim and tone the stomach. An exercise like squats actually engage your core too. It actually does a lot more for you than just crunches alone.
It's a really good point. Yeah, the more musculature you involve in the movement, the more energy and calories you're gonna burn, the more lean muscle you're gonna build. Whereas if we were just focusing on some crunches, that's just one little area we're focusing on, and the intensity is very low.
Awesome, so we're gonna hop right into it. Okay, Rob, he's setting up. So explain to us how you're setting up there, Rob.
So I wanna make sure I have my feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. I like to point my toes just slightly outward. And then when I initiate the movement, it's gonna start at my hips. So I'm gonna shoot my hips back, almost like I'm pushing a car door shut with my butt. So start there, and then from there, I will descend down. So at the bottom position, again, I've got my heels flat on the floor. I've got my knees tracking over my ankles, and then I'm coming back up. So one more time, hips back first, squatting down, keeping the heels flat on the floor, knees tracking out over the ankles, and standing back up. So some things on that to avoid. A lot of people will want to just start squatting straight down versus pushing the hips back first. And what happens when we do that is it starts to put a shearing force on the knees and it hurts. So people will do it, their heels will come off the ground, and then they'll be like, these squats suck, they hurt my knees. So again, very important that we shoot the hips back first, which allows us to keep the weight on the heels, takes the stress off the knees, makes the big muscle groups of the legs, of the glutes, perform the movement. One other common mistake that we'll see is people's knees coming in when they squat. So we want to avoid that because again, that can put extra stress on the knees. So we want to make sure the knees stay out, tracking above the ankles, feet flat on the floor. You can use your arms out in front of you for balance with this at first as well. So that's kind of how the movement looks, full range of motion, and keeping that chest up as well. So one more time, initiating movement with the hips, squatting down, keeping the chest up nice and high.
And talk a little bit about the position you are in when you're down.
So in the down position, I want to be as straight up and down as possible.
And then notice that his hips, notice that he's really, really low. His butt, you see that area where his butt is right there? It is below his hip crease. Do you see that? So we want to get as deep as possible. It engages more muscles to build those nice glutes, but also develop some nice muscles in your entire legs and also your body too.
So some variations of this movement if we're not quite ready to go full range of motion. It's just going to be sitting down and standing up. So it could be a chair, something like that. Everything is going to be the same. I'm going to shoot my butt back. I'm going to start to sit down. And then I'm just going to sit. And then to stand back up, I'm going to lean my body forward. I'm going to drive through my heels. And then I'm going to stand back up. So at first, if we're not able to do full squats yet, that's totally okay. You can develop the same muscles by doing this variation, controlling on the way down, sitting down, standing back up. So you can just do your sets like that, eventually graduating to doing the body weight squats Once we have our form and technique good with those, because the movement pattern is the most important thing to make sure we're staying safe. Once we've got body weight squats where it's no big deal, we've got good form and technique, that's when we can start introducing load and resistance. So for example,
which means getting heavier with your sets.
For example, I can use a dumbbell and do what's called goblet squats. So it's just gonna make the movement more challenging and help you get stronger, develop those lean muscles. And so again, first and foremost is just getting the foundation of the movement by itself. We want that to be good before we look at adding any weight, because it just keeps you safe. It makes you stronger, faster, leaner, more toned, all that good stuff. So we're gonna be making more videos like this based off of you guys' questions, feedback. So if you have any additional questions, be sure to drop them in, post them in the group, so that way we can make more videos for you guys and provide different resources for you to know exactly how to crush your workouts.